Well, I'm joined now by the Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency, Matthew Adepoju. You saw him profusely in that report. Thank you for joining us on Newsnight. Well, it's not enough to tell us not to worry, not to panic, considering that it's not the first time that this tremors would be happening in the same Mpape axis of Abuja. I mean, are you saying that the region is ordinarily not susceptible to seismic activities? What could be responsible for what we're seeing?
The truth of the matter is the fact that the planet Earth itself, we have tectonic plates that hold different continental shelves together. So, and some areas have fault lines, and Mpape happens to be one of the towns or settlements sitting on such fault lines. Like I mentioned earlier on, it's not only one that we have in Nigeria, there's another fault line in Osun State. And we have deployed some of our seismic stations across the country, but the number is not enough yet. We need to deploy more. And then, because we cannot develop a robust early warning mechanism without having enough coverage for the entire country. So because signal that you hear in Borno will be an error to where things will really happen in Abuja here. So if you have enough seismic stations all over the country, then our early warning mechanism will be more robust and then we'll be more proactive.
What's the reach of what you have on ground right now, the early warning stations you have?
We already deployed 10, and then we have some that is in existence before. But you know, technology changes within 6 months or 1 year, and those old ones, we need to replace some of them because more features and more capabilities are on the new ones. And the intervention we got last year, we were able to deploy some, and then this year we are in the process of deploying more for this year.
Right, let's look at the bigger picture. We'll still come back to the Mpape situation. What does the geological map of Nigeria reveal about susceptibility to earthquakes?
We are very, very fortunate country because we don't have most of these natural disasters on a mega scale. We have them at smaller scale, which does not pose imminent threat to the country. So our tectonic plate is relatively stable. But like I mentioned earlier in the morning, this planet Earth is like a living organism. Because there are activities that interact with one another. And some of those activities is the tectonic plates that move from time to time. But what we have here is earth tremor when those activities happen beneath the earth surface far, far, far deeper, and then you feel the movement and the shock.
Movements. Now, to what extent would you say human activity is a contributory factor to these tremors in the Mpape area, for example? I mean, we heard in that report by Mary Chinda that there's a lot of mining going on, illegal mining, if you like. There's drilling of, sand dredging and all kinds of things. To what extent is this exacerbating the situation?
Absolutely. When you have human activities that is, we have some pines, those rocks, they have their root deep beneath the earth surface. So as we are blasting them, and then it's having massive effect on what is going on there. Then other activities that is happening in Abuja here is drilling of boreholes. Because nearly, I don't know the percentage, but quite chunk number of the household in Abuja here are running borehole. That's why the FCT administration needs to look into.
Yeah, because the public water is hardly there.
Most of the new settlement or new residential area like estates in Lokogoma, in Life Camp, there is no public water in those areas. So, and water is an essential for livelihood.
So there's a need for the regulator to, step up to the plate. But let's talk about implementing of the laws criminalizing indiscriminate mining, rock blasting, digging, and all of that. Is there a need for that to be stepped up now? with what we're seeing now?
It is an essential thing for us to do. And fortunately, I served in development control. I know the mechanism is there. Government has put the mechanism in there, but we need to strengthen it because you cannot build, you cannot conduct quarry activities without having approval from government. And if some people are mining or doing quarry activities without approval, then development control and other mechanism of government need to push more effort to stop all those
Let's
things.
talk about that fault line you mentioned earlier. I'm curious about that. Okay. Now, you talk about the fault line in the Mpape area. You also mentioned the one in Osun. Mpape is, I mean, next door to Maitama, the highbrow area of Abuja. In what direction, really, is this fault line you talk about? Does it move from Mpape directly to Maitama, you know, in the direction of Asokoro, or what exactly? Or is it just that straight line, you know, along the Mpape, Gwarimpa, Katampe, you know, line?
It actually goes...
At least for those who, you know, are familiar with the geography of Abuja.
It goes from... it actually didn't start from Mpape, actually. Okay. It's a fault line that runs through Apo and then all the way down. So we can probably... It's not a small line, it's more...
This
area.
Fault line, is it within Abuja or outside, comes, you know, all the way, cuts across, traverses Abuja and to other...
Oh, it's...
I'm just trying to understand, you know, this particular fault line.
It's from within the Federal Capital Territory.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just within the FCT. Okay, it's very interesting to note that you're saying, look, there's no cause for alarm. Yeah. We should just go about you know, our lives like nothing happened. But, you know, as a precautionary measure, what do we need to do to ensure that things don't get out of hand?
Well, what we need to do, first and foremost, what we have been doing in the agency is to continue collecting data and analyzing the data to make sure that we are seeing whether it's progressing or whether it's becoming aggressive. But what we have is not at the alarming rate at all. So, and we continue to stream the data on daily basis from the seismic station, because we have one actually located in Mpape there because of the 2018 that happened, and then there's another one at NASA headquarters. So we need more of such stations to be able to do triangulation and then monitor what is happening.
Okay, in the Abuja area, finally, I mean, a lot of people live at the foot of the hills. Yeah. Should we begin to think of moving away from those beautiful landscapes?
We have a lot of households around the hills. Yes. It's not only in Mpape that is in Mpape Hills that is enjoying the beautiful scenarios. Even the Asofila is enjoying the beautiful scenario of natural landscape. But what we are doing now, we are coming up with a robust, detailed assessment, and then we're going to make our recommendation to the Ministry of the Federal Capital Administration, and of course, Mr. President will be briefed accordingly. All the necessary precaution measure that needs to be taken to make
at the government level.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Matthew Adepoju is the DG, National Space Research and Development Agency. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.